Chapter 41 Soul Masters Attack and Defense. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If Huo Yuhao showed kindness before, Huo Yuhao this time used force and told his classmates his rules. If you only know how to be a good person when getting along with others, others will only think that you are being taken advantage of, and everyone will step on you, but there will be very few people who can talk to you. Be kind when you go along with it, but you will be slow when you use up your kindness. Only by giving both kindness and power can others respect you. The surrounding students were all shocked by Huo Yuhao's momentum and words, and no one spoke for a while. Zhou Yi looked at Huo Yuhao with twinkling eyes, as if she had forgotten that she was still in class. After listening to Huo Yuhao's words, Su Hang was the first to say, "I am willing to be Brother Huo's true friend. My family's conditions are not very good, and my family has paid too much to get me a letter of recommendation from the city lord. If it weren't for Brother Huo's intervention, I was expelled on the first day of school. I didn't know how to explain it to my family. I, Su Hang, am a person who repays kindness. Anyway, I will follow Brother Huo from now on. Who dares to treat Brother Huo like that? Tai Long? No respect, Suong, will be the first to refuse. I, Yun Xiaopiao, won't agree either." After hearing Su Hang's statement, someone immediately followed. I, Zhuge Yun. I, Tang Dao. As those who had completed their laps after Huo Yuhao's reminder expressed their opinions, the rest of the class also followed suit. I, Xiao Xiao, won't agree either. He will be my eldest brother from now on. Xiao Xiao waved his fists to watch the fun, and it was not a big deal. Wang Dong tugged at the hem of Huo Yuhao's clothes and teased in a low voice, "Should I also express my stance? I feel like I'm a little out of place if I don't express my stance, right, big brother?" Huo Yuhao glared at Wang Dong. Looking at the scene in front of him that was like taking an oath to join a gang, he couldn't help but twitch at the corner of his eyes. He felt that Su Hang was really a fucking talent. He had just said a few words and was forced to do it with just a few words. It has become a gang recruitment meeting. At this moment, there were already more than 20 people expressing their opinions. Seeing that others wanted to continue speaking, Zhou Yi couldn't help it anymore. "Just stop it. Is he the teacher or am I the teacher?" Zhou Yi asked with a dark face. His face was clouded, his eyebrows were raised, and his powerful cultivation exploded, making all the students present feel a little depressed. After a pause, Zhou Yi finally spoke again. "Go back to the dormitory and change clothes, and then go to the classroom for class. I'll give you a quarter of an hour." After saying that, Zhou Yi turned around and returned directly to the teaching building. Although Zhou Yi's prestige was hit at this time, no student dared to blatantly slack off Zhou Yi's words. Everyone ran towards the dormitory at a sprint speed of 100 meters. Huo Yuhao also pulled Wang Dong and ran towards the dormitory. Although he is the leader in resisting Zhou Yi's tyranny, he is not indifferent to right from wrong. What he resists is only what Zhou Yi did wrong. In other respects, since Zhou Yi is a teacher, he will also give Zhou Yi what belongs to the teacher. That respect. This little old woman has never seen anything. She has done a lot of shit. Wang Dong complained to Huo Yuhao as he ran. Huo Yuhao heard that Wang Dong's name for Zhou Yi was a bit funny. He glanced at Wang Dong and said, "What is a little old woman? What do you call Zhou Yi?" Wang Dong snorted and said, "She is clearly only about 30 years old, but she wears a personal leather mask to pretend to be an old woman. She even behaves like Master Mijie. Isn't she just a little old woman? Okay, you go in and change clothes first. I'll wait for you to change before changing. Hurry up." When he arrived at the dormitory, Wang Dong stopped at the door and motioned to Huo Yuhao to go in first with a red face. Huo Yuhao glanced at Wang Dong with a half-smile, and without any pretense, he went straight into the dormitory and opened the door ajar to change his clothes. "I said you don't need to be wary of me. Don't you know my character? You can trust me completely. I will never peek when you change clothes." Huo Yuhao teased Wang Dong while changing clothes. Wang Dong sneered, "Of course I believe in your character. I believe you have no such thing as character. TSK, it seems you misunderstood me very much. Huo Yuhao changed his clothes very quickly, finishing changing in 2 seconds, and came out to wait for Wang Dong. It had not been a quarter of an hour since the two of them returned to the classroom. As soon as the time arrived, Zhou Yi came in right on time. After glancing at the 98 students in the classroom and focusing on Huo Yuhao, Zhou Yi nodded and said, "We will start class now. The test just now is basically satisfactory to me. But next time, I hope everyone will be in class. Don't do anything that has nothing to do with class. Huo Yuhao, can you do it?" Huo Yuhao stood up, looked directly at Zhou Yi and said, "As long as you fulfill your duties as a teacher, I will naturally fulfill my duties as a student." Zhou Yi said with a cold face, "Of course I will fulfill my duties as a teacher, and I hope you can be a good student. Sit down." Zhou Yi said no more, turned around and wrote 2 big words on the blackboard, attack and defense. After finishing writing, Zhou Yi turned around again and scanned everyone on the seat with sharp eyes. "I know that the vast majority of you are very dissatisfied with me and have even united together to resist me. I don't need to explain to you. People with understanding will naturally understand my intentions. Idiots who can't figure it out will let them. I can't figure it out. Let's start class now." Huo Yuhao called him a good guy in his heart. Was Zhou Yi cursing him in a roundabout way? Absolutely. Otherwise, he wouldn't even understand what Zhou Yi's purpose was when he said these 2 sentences. Is it to deepen students' rebellious psychology? Couldn't she see that the dissatisfaction with her in the students' eyes deepened after she said this? It's just that Huo Yuhao doesn't think he and Zhou Yi are at the point where Zhou Yi would call him a fool even if he blows himself up, right? He also helped her feel the happiness. It would be fine if she didn't thank her, but he even cursed her in a roundabout way. How stingy. The 2 words I wrote on the blackboard are the content of today's lecture. Since ancient times, we have divided soul masters into offensive systems, control systems, defense systems, auxiliary systems, etc. Everyone divides them according to these systems. Either extreme development in one direction or balanced development. There are various cultivation methods, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Wang Dong, please answer, among the various soul masters, who is better at attacking, and who is more inclined to assist and defend? Zhou Yi asked directly by name. Wang Dong stood up and replied without hesitation, "Of course, the strong attack and agility attack types are better at attacking, while the defense and auxiliary types are better at defense and assistance." Zhou Yi glanced at Wang Dong indifferently, without making any comments, and then named him. "Xiao Xiao, you answer." Xiao Xiao sat on the right side of Huo Yuhao. He stood up and thought for a while, then combined with his own situation, he said, "These abilities of attack, defense, and assistance do not just depend on the system, but also depend on the martial soul and soul skills. It is not impossible for soul masters of the attack and control system to have the defensive auxiliary function, the defensive system, and even the auxiliary system's soul master may not have strong attack power. It mainly depends on the specific soul skills of the martial soul and the soul master." Zhou Yi nodded slightly and said, "That's good, but it's not thorough enough. You 2 should sit down. Huo Yuhao, you tell me." Chapter 42 Zhou Yi, how come he speaks better than I do? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Huo Yuhao secretly thought that as expected, wasn't Zhou Yi just naming those who resisted her this time? Wang Dong Xiao Xiao happened to be the one who took the lead to support him. While thinking in his mind, Huo Yuhao also stood up and answered without hesitation. To answer this question comprehensively and thoroughly, we must look at it from many aspects. The first is cultivation. Of course, those with higher cultivation are ahead in all aspects than those with lower cultivation. In terms of attack power, the auxiliary type titled Douluo can defeat most of the powerful attack type soul emperors and soul saints with simple and crude soul bombardment. Naturally, the defensive power is also the strongest among the auxiliary type titled Douluo. Does killing all the enemies count as support? There is no better support than this. There were scattered bursts of laughter from the surrounding students, but everyone agreed with this point of view. Cultivation is the foundation of everything. No matter how weak a soul master is, he can become a titled Douluo. Even the weakest title Douluo cannot be compared to people from other realms. Zhou Yi glanced at the whole class with a sharp gaze, suppressed the laughter, and then said, "You are right. As a soul master, cultivation is the foundation of everything." Continue. Then there are martial arts and soul skills. In Douluo continent, there is a popular saying that there are no useless martial spirits, only useless soul masters. This sentence sounds very inspiring, but the fact is that this sentence is more important. Very wrong. Some people disagree with Huo Yuhao because there is no useless martial spirit, only the words of a useless soul master and the deeds of Poseidon have always inspired them. A powerful martial spirit is one that is ahead of a weak martial spirit in all aspects. For example, let's take the offensive martial spirit Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus. In terms of defensive power, which ordinary defensive martial spirit can compare with it? Another example is the defensive martial spirit Hun Xuanwu. Its attack power is incomparable to most attack-type martial spirits, right? This is all the difference caused by martial arts. Powerful martial spirits are more comprehensive in offense and defense. It can be said that they are ahead of ordinary martial arts in all aspects. Some defensive soul masters were silent, because their martial soul defense was indeed inferior to the Blue Electric Tyrannosaurus. Some offensive soul masters were also silent, because their attack power was not even as good as the Xianming turtle, let alone the Xuanwu turtle. Compare. In addition, there is also the gap between soul rings. The soul master is a profession that relies heavily on soul skills. The age of the soul ring and the type of soul beast can affect the soul master's soul skills and thus the bias of the soul master's offense and defense. 100,000 There is no doubt that the Nian soul ring is stronger than the ordinary 10,000-year soul ring. Obtaining a top soul ring is very likely to change a soul master's offense and defense. When some people heard this, hope arose in their hearts, thinking about getting a good soul ring and changing their fate against the will of heaven. Huo Yuhao paused and saw that Zhou Yi had no reaction and the classmates were also silent, then he continued. Finally, the tools used by soul masters are also an important factor that affects the soul master's offense and defense. There are special armors that can defend against attacks by low-level soul masters. The hidden weapons of the Tang sect that emerged thousands of years ago can allow ordinary people to kill the Soul King of the Soul sect. Since then, 4,000 years ago, the Sun-Moon continent collided with the Douluo continent, and the rise of soul masters further blurred the attack and defense of soul masters. As long as they had the corresponding soul guidance devices, auxiliary system soul masters could fully arm themselves into a soul guidance turret and defense system. It's not like a soul master can't fight with someone with a melee soul guidance weapon. If there are level 9 fixed soul guidance shells, a first-ring soul master can even kill an unsuspecting title Douluo with it. So, this is my point of view. Whether a soul master prefers attack, defense, or assistance is determined by many factors. And the most important thing we should do is to work hard to become stronger. Whether it is cultivation or physical fitness, and mental strength, these are the foundation of a soul master. Only on these foundations can we pursue more powerful offense or defense. Huo Yuhao's long speech caused a dead silence in the class. They had previously thought that Huo Yuhao was stronger, physically better than them, and that he was willing to help others and brave enough to take on responsibilities. But now that they looked at it again, he couldn't even compare to them. Some people marveled at Huo Yuhao's insight, while others found their gains in these words. Zhao Xian is one of them. He has an attack-type martial spirit, but his martial spirit is not powerful. He has been motivating himself with a useless martial spirit and only a useless soul master. However, facts don't lie. He always loses when competing with others. After hearing Huo Yuhao's previous judgment about Wuhuan, he felt depressed in his heart. Why is the world so unfair? Why are some people's martial arts naturally so powerful? But in the end, he grasped the key point: cultivation, physical fitness, and mental strength are the foundation of a soul master. Since he can't compete with others in the same realm, then if he practices more than others, he can beat the higher realm, right? There is also physical fitness, which can only be improved through exercise. It is impossible for someone's physical fitness to be naturally superior to others, right? Since everyone has a similar starting point, he can always be a little better than others if he practices more, right? It's nothing more than hard work. Zhao Xian was full of fighting spirit. After listening to Huo Yuhao's words, Zhou Yi looked at him with deep eyes. She didn't expect that Huo Yuhao's speech was more comprehensive and thorough than what she had prepared. She was originally going to talk about the ambiguity of offense and defense and the importance of soul guides, but after a comparison, she found that her preparations were not as comprehensive as Huo Yuhao's. Otherwise, he should be the teacher. Zhou Yi felt that she could no longer be this teacher. The student was even more convinced by Huo Yuhao. He even asked Huo Yuhao to help her with her lectures. What was she going to do as a teacher? What can you do? Zhou Yi could only follow Huo Yuhao's words. I didn't expect you to have such an opinion. You see it very clearly. What Huo Yuhao said is right. At any time, the foundation of a soul master is still himself. Only his own strength is the foundation of everything. Even if it is the same soul guide, the effect that a stronger soul master can play is far greater than that of a weak soul master. Of course, I am not saying this to let you ignore soul guides. If there are two equally powerful soul masters, one is equipped with a soul guide and the other is not, the one with the soul guide will have a much higher chance of winning than the one without the soul guide. In my class, I don't require you to make soul guides, but you must understand soul guides and use them. After hearing Zhou Yi's words, Huo Yuhao nodded in agreement. It must be said that although Zhou Yi is not a good person and has a bad temper, he still has merits in strength and philosophy. In such a big environment where the martial soul department of Shrek Academy suppresses the soul guide department, Zhou Yi is still willing to teach students to correctly view soul guides and plant a seed for students to accept soul guides. Finally, he looks a bit like a teacher. Maybe Zhou Yi did this for her own selfish reasons, but there is no doubt that what she did was indeed good for the students. Today's class ends here. In the next 3 months, my main training for you will be in physical fitness. No matter who you are, what your background is, or how good your talent is. If you cannot pass my assessment in 3 months, then, just get out of my class like the 2 people before. This is the end of today's morning class. I suggest you have a good meal at noon, and start physical fitness training in the afternoon. After saying this, Zhou Yi turned around and left without any hesitation, and did not call Huo Yuhao out for questioning as in the original book. In fact, Zhou Yi was quite curious about Huo Yuhao. Although in her opinion Huo Yuhao was undoubtedly a thorn, he was undoubtedly an excellent student. From running, it can be seen that his physical fitness is very strong, and some of his insights also made her feel enlightened. She also wanted to know what Huo Yuhao's martial spirit was, and how he could make her lose the power to resist in an instant. However, Zhou Yi was afraid when she recalled the feeling of being far superior to Fan Yu, and finally did not call Huo Yuhao to the office to question him. After Zhou Yi left, the class was silent for a while, and everyone seemed to be lost in thought, thinking about what Huo Yuhao and Zhou Yi said. After all, this was related to their future cultivation, so everyone took it very seriously. Chapter 43 Xiao Xiao, Squad Leader, I won't tell anyone else. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Huo Yuhao and Wang Dong left first, and Xiao Xiao followed them out of the classroom. Brother Huo, Wang Dong, are you going to the cafeteria? Let's go together. Xiao Xiao excitedly invited Huo Yuhao and Wang Dong. Huo Yuhao's eyes turned to the petite girl who was following him on the right. After a morning, Xiao Xiao was obviously much closer to him. She walked side by side with him instead of following Wang Dong. The girl tilted her head slightly, and her big eyes full of expectation blinked at him, and her dark green ponytail swung behind her. Huo Yuhao said softly, I'm sorry, Xiao Xiao, Wang Dong and I won't go to the cafeteria. Without waiting for the disappointment in Xiao Xiao's eyes to spread, Huo Yuhao continued to ask, will you join us? I prepared lunch, which I made myself. Xiao Xiao's emerald green eyes instantly overflowed with surprise. Can I? Brother Huo, I didn't expect you to be able to cook, so I have to try it today. I'll ask you to try my cooking in a few days. I can cook too. The girl said proudly, and it can be seen that she is quite confident in her cooking skills. Huo Yuhao smiled and agreed, then Wang Dong and I will have to try your cooking in a few days. I'm looking forward to it. Huo Yuhao looked at Wang Dong, who had never spoken, and found that he was frowning, looking thoughtful, and obviously didn't hear what he and Xiao Xiao said. Huo Yuhao patted Wang Dong on the shoulder and asked softly, "What are you thinking about? Why don't you talk all the time?" Wang Dong came back to his senses, with confusion in his eyes. She asked in distress, "You said that soul masters must use soul guides. Is it really better to use soul guides than not to use them?" Huo Yuhao's eyes flashed when he heard Wang Dong's doubts. He probably knew Wang Dong's question. Huo Yuhao showed a serious look on his face and said, "It's not that soul masters must use soul guides, but soul guides give soul masters more choices, development and convenience. Just like space soul guides, it makes it easier for us to store and retrieve items. Soul guide lamps, as long as there is soul power, can illuminate, and flying soul guides allow soul masters to fly even if they are not titled Douluo. Soul guides are just tools to help us. Whether to use this tool depends on whether we need to use it or not, and whether it is easy to use, not whether it must be used or not." Wang Dong still frowned, his pink-blue eyes were full of confusion, and said, "I understand all this. But, I don't know why, when I mention soul guides, I feel very disgusted and resist using soul guides. But I really don't think soul guides are bad." Huo Yuhao knew what was going on. As expected, this is Wang Dong's father. The great god King Tang modified his daughter's consciousness. He hates soul guides and thinks that soul guides led to the decline of his broken Tang sect, so he modified his daughter's consciousness to make her hate soul guides as much as he does. It must be said that the great god King Tang really treats his daughter as a tool, no, not even as good as a tool. The soul was directly divided into 3 parts, the consciousness was modified, and finally Wang Dong was forced to sacrifice himself for Huo Yuhao. It is difficult for enemies to be retaliated to this extent, right? Huo Yuhao was full of pity for Wang Dong who was so distressed. He felt that Tang San deserved to die. As for the future, let him be Wang Dong's husband and father. It's nothing more than taking on an extra job. He can do it. I hope Wang Dong won't be too moved by then, at least don't pick up the hatchet and give him a chop. Huo Yuhao gently grabbed Wang Dong's arm and comforted her, "If you can't figure it out, don't think about it. This is not your problem. Leave it to me." Wang Dong turned her head to look at Huo Yuhao, whose eyes were full of tenderness. Her heartbeat suddenly stopped for a moment, and then beat more violently. She lowered her head to hide her shyness and agreed obediently, "Oh." Then she followed Huo Yuhao step by step. "Are you two really just friends?" Xiao Xiao looked at the 2 people who were so loving and harmonious with a strange face. The doubts that had been dispersed regrouped and attacked her heart. In the morning, she felt that the 2 were like a couple who had a quarrel. The current scene made her feel that the 2 were like a couple who had reconciled and were as loving as before, but, don't do this. When they first met, she was attracted by Wang Dong's handsome appearance and she liked him very much. Later, she felt that although Huo Yuhao was not as handsome as Wang Dong, he was also good, and he was helpful, responsible, and powerful. She admired him very much. As a result, you told me that they became a couple here. How could there be such a sad thing in the world? Xiao Xiao felt that she couldn't eat much of her lunch because she was so sad. Brother Hua, another bowl, beside the sea god lake. Xiao Xiao held up a clean plate in her little hand, and looked at Huo Yuhao expectantly in her green almond eyes. "But you have already eaten 3 bowls, will it be okay to have another bowl?" Huo Yuhao looked at Xiao Xiao's belly with some worry, and he really didn't know how such a petite girl could eat so much. Xiao Xiao blinked her big green eyes and said coquettishly, "Isn't this really delicious? I didn't expect Brother Hua to be such a good cook. Just 1 bowl, just 1 bowl. I will never eat more. Please, Brother Yuhao." Huo Yuhao finally succumbed to Xiao Xiao's cute coquettish offensive, and Wang Dong's little hand twisted around his waist. Xiao Xiao happily took the food handed over by Huo Yuhao and said playfully, Brother Huo, don't worry about me, I am also turning grief and anger into appetite, Huo Yuhao said helplessly. I told you that Wang Dong and I are just very good friends. Xiao Xiao nodded. Well, I understand. I won't tell anyone else, and you don't need to explain. Didn't you see that Wang Dong didn't refute from the beginning to the end? Brother Huo, I will support you. The corner of Huo Yuhao's mouth twitched, his eyes moved to Wang Dong, and he poked her gently. You should say something. Wang Dong snorted lightly, turned his head away and ignored Huo Yuhao. After returning at noon, Huo Yuhao took the time to meditate for a while. This time Wang Dong also began to meditate and practice with him. Huo Yuhao had never seen Wang Dong meditating since he lived with Wang Dong. This was the first time and it was a bit novel. When Wang Dong and Huo Yuhao arrived in the classroom in the afternoon, Xiao Xiao had already occupied seats for them and was waiting for them. When Zhou Yi slowly walked into the classroom, the whole class fell into silence. This morning, Tai Long openly attacked the teacher in the academic affairs office and wreaked havoc. He was killed by the teacher on the spot. I hope you will take this as a warning. Zhou Yi said calmly. Suddenly, the whole class became noisy. In the crowd, there was fear that the academy would kill students like this, sympathy for the death of rabbits and foxes, and cheers of great joy. Huo Yuhao looked calm and his heart was calm, as if Tai Long's death had nothing to do with him. He didn't care whether Tai Lung died or not. Anyway, he attacked the teacher and wreaked havoc on the academy. At worst, Shrek would imprison Tai Lung and make the forces behind him pay some price. Now it would be easier if he just died. He is not the kind of person who likes to hold back after being threatened by others. When he can take revenge, he will do it as soon as possible. The class slowly returned to calm. Everyone, stand up and gather in the square. Zhou Yi left with these words. Under the guidance of Huo Yuhao, the students in the class lined up and followed Zhou Yi. Although the entire class was in good order, Zhou Yi, who was walking in the front, was not satisfied. She always believed that this kind of performance was only because of Huo Yuhao's leadership. Without Huo Yuhao, the class where she failed to establish her authority would only be chaos and laziness. Only fear is the only way to supervise students. Arriving at Shrek Square, Huo Yuhao saw a pile of iron clothes. As expected, does Shrek Academy only have the ancestral art of running with heavy loads? Under Zhou Yi's order, the students stood still. Huo Yuhao. Zhou Yi called. Here. Huo Yuhao took a step forward. Zhou Yi said to all the students, after the morning test, I found that you have the highest recognition of Huo Yuhao. I also recognize Huo Yuhao's strength. Therefore, I announce that from now on, he will be the monitor of the freshman class. The position of monitor is floating. Whoever can defeat him can take over the position of squad leader. I understand. None of the students were unconvinced. Ever since Huo Yuhao helped his classmates in the morning and proved his strength against Zhou Yi and Tai Long, they were completely convinced by Huo Yuhao. Someone heard that Huo Yuhao was the squad leader, and even cheered happily in a small area. Chapter 44 Shrek Academy is actually a pyramid scheme organization. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhou Yi pointed to the iron clothes on the ground. The next lesson is to put on these iron clothes and run around the square until the end of get out of class. You can use soul power, but not soul skills. I will run according to ranking based on number of laps. The last one will be expelled from my class. One thing I want to emphasize is that in my class, someone is not eliminated only during the assessment, but at any time. Today, one person will be eliminated again. With that said, Zhou Yi tiptoed and piled an iron coat in front of Huo Yuhao. When they heard Zhou Yi's words about expelling students again, the students were not afraid at this time. Instead, they were aroused with anger. Everyone stared at Zhou Yi, and no one put on the iron clothes, just like this with Zhou Yi. Yi confronted him. Huo Yuhao did not take the lead this time, but everyone in the freshman class spontaneously united to confront Zhou Yi. Huo Yuhao was not surprised. This is what happens when people are dominated by fear. When someone takes the lead in resistance and succeeds, everyone will react in a rebound manner. Unless you can make them fear again, this resistance will continue until the tyranny is overthrown. Seeing these motionless students, Zhou Yi raised her eyebrows slightly. Although it was unexpected that something like this happened, this situation was exactly what she wanted. She was very dissatisfied with not establishing her authority in the morning. Now this situation is suitable for her to establish her authority again and make up for the unfinished work in the morning. Zhou Yi believed that as long as she once again showed her strength and the power given to teachers by Shrek Academy, she could subdue these students. Zhou Yi snorted coldly, 6 soul rings rose from his feet, and said sternly, "Why are you looking at me? Why, are you all going to resist the teachings of my class teacher?" After forcing almost all the students to bow their heads, Zhou Yi turned his gaze to Huo Yuhao and said coldly, "Huo Yuhao, didn't you say that you would fulfill your duties as a student? As the monitor, why don't you take everyone for a run as soon as possible? You don't want to be the last one, do you?" This sentence is both a warning and a reminder. People with good physiques cannot be the last ones and will not be eliminated anyway. Why do you, Huo Yuhao, stand up for those with weak physiques? Why should those with strong physiques stand up for those with weak physiques? When those students who had been suppressed by Zhou Yi heard this, some of them were shaken in their hearts, but they did not move. They still wanted to see what Huo Yuhao would do first. After all, Huo Yuhao has successfully resisted this master of extinction once, isn't he? It's not that Huo Yuhao doesn't understand the meaning of Zhou Yi's words, but his original goal is not to stay in Shrek Academy, but to gain a group of people who are willing to follow him. Therefore, standing up for the weak and speaking out for justice is the best way to win people's hearts. Huo Yuhao looked at Zhou Yi, who exuded a fierce aura without fear, and said in a deep voice, "Teacher Zhou Yi, I said that the premise for me to fulfill my duties as a student is that you fulfill your duties as a teacher. Teacher, please, have you fulfilled your duties as a teacher? Am I not fulfilling my duties as a teacher?" Zhou Yi asked coldly. Zhou Yi looked at Huo Yuhao, who showed no fear of her, and couldn't help but feel a headache. She couldn't do anything about Huo Yuhao now. She couldn't fire him, and she refused to accept the pressure. As for making Huo Yuhao afraid of her, Zhou Yi recalled the feeling that made her love and fear her at the same time in the morning, and she felt a little afraid of Huo Yuhao in her heart. Huo Yuhao sneered, "So, teacher, what are you teaching your students now? How do you expel others? Isn't it natural that a loser who even finished last in a race would be eliminated?" Huo Yuhao laughed a little. "So, teacher Zhou Yi, your profession is not a teacher but an examiner. Is there such a teacher who eliminates students without even teaching them? If Zhou Yi taught the students in the class well, and then someone was eliminated in the freshman assessment, Huo Yuhao would certainly not have any objections to Zhou Yi, but what did she do? She expelled students on the first day of school, and the rest of her teaching was all about running. So what's the use of a teacher like her? She could do a better job than her by tying a dog and watching the students run, but she didn't have as much to do." Zhou Yi sneered and said, "Expelling students is the power given to every teacher by the college. Every teacher can expel students. I am doing this to urge the remaining people to work harder. I know everyone is dissatisfied with my expulsion of students, but that's how Shrek Academy is, survival of the fittest. Only geniuses can study in the academy. Although I am indeed the teacher who expels the most students, other teachers have also expelled a lot of people." Huo Yuhao suddenly understood something. Yes, expelling students is the right given by Shrek Academy. It is not so much Zhou Yi who is like this, but the entire Shrek Academy. Why does Shrek Academy delegate such power to the class teacher? I'm afraid Shrek Academy can get some other gains from it. Shrek Academy has always been known for its high elimination rate. It recruits more than 1,000 people for the freshman assessment. After 3 months of running, more than half of them are eliminated through the freshman assessment. Then they are screened step by step through final elimination, promotion assessment, etc. Those who can graduate are a quarter is enough. Rather than saying that Shrek Academy is cultivating students, it is better to say that it is cultivating goo. How similar is this model to Zhou Yi's teaching method? It's just that Zhou Yi intensified this elimination. From the original work, it can be seen that Shrek Academy completely acquiesced in Zhou Yi's teaching method. From the fact that students like Bebe Tanya who did not know the details praised Zhou Yi a lot, it seems that Shrek Academy even took the initiative to promote Zhou Yi, making Zhou Yi a representative figure among teachers in the outer academy. As for Zhou Yi's highest admission rate in the inner courtyard, it is just used for publicity to deceive those outside who don't know the specific data. Who doesn't know the real data inside? Primary school students will not be deceived by such data, unless they are fools. Are all the senior executives of Shrek Academy fools? Huo Yuhao thought carefully about his experience in Shrek Academy in the original book, and was shocked. How similar is his experience in Shrek in the original book to that in the MLM organization? As soon as he entered school, he was brainwashed by the fanatical worship of the ancestors and the admiration of Shrek Academy. Then the teacher's suppression made the students compete internally, compare with each other, eliminate, and brainwash students by other means commonly used by MLM organizations. Then he used rewards such as core students to win over students. Afterwards, Huo Yuhao was suppressed and treated unfairly by the academy. During this period, some people played the good cop and some played the bad cop. Later, Huo Yuhao gained the recognition of the academy through his own efforts. In this process, Huo Yuhao himself invested energy, emotions, time and other costs in the academy. When he gained the recognition of the academy, he also recognized the academy and was further brainwashed. Finally, there was the All-Continental Academy competition. Externally, there was pressure from other academies and forces. Internally, everyone united to fight for the glory of Shrek and received thoughtful rewards from the academy. In this way, when Shrek Academy won the championship and Huo Yuhao became a lifelong Shrek 7 Devils, Huo Yuhao in the original work had been completely brainwashed. So, Shrek Academy is actually a pyramid scheme? And the teachers in the external academy actually have the same role as the small leaders of those pyramid schemes? Huo Yuhao completely understood Shrek's routine. Chapter 45, Inciting the Anger of Classmates. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Huo Yuhao suddenly felt bored. If he is right, then Shrek Academy will never change this teaching method. Even if the teacher from the outer courtyard aroused the public anger of the students, he only pushed the teacher out to calm the students' anger. He even dealt with the teacher by holding him high and putting him down gently, just like punishing the teacher. Zhou Yi changed from a senior teacher to a lower-grade teacher. Huo Yuhao, who wanted to understand this, had no intention of changing his mind. How about Shrek? What does it have to do with him? He is leaving Shrek Academy anyway. As long as he can find a group of people who are not brainwashed and willing to follow him and leave with him. As for Shrek, the rise or fall has nothing to do with him. Even if Shrek Academy blocks his way, he can destroy Shrek Academy with his own hands. With so much thought in mind, the time in the outside world is only a short moment. Zhou Yi saw Huo Yuhao, who was suddenly standing there without saying a word, and felt that she had finally made Huo Yuhao speechless, and couldn't help feeling a little proud. Huo Yuhao came back to his senses and his face turned cold again. When he saw Zhou Yi, Huo Yuhao felt that he couldn't do nothing. At the very least, he should make Zhou Yi suffer some pain, so as not to make him feel so disgusted all day long. If Zhou Yi acted like a monster every once in a while, Huo Yuhao would be able to endure it just to set a negative target, but Zhou Yi could act like a monster several times a day, and Huo Yuhao felt that he couldn't bear it. Huo Yuhao said calmly to Zhou Yi, "Teacher, you are right. This is the power given to you by the college. Of course you can use it. Teacher, just stay away if you have nothing to do. As the squad leader, I have to mobilize the classmates to exercise. 3. The freshman assessment will be held in a month, and I can't let everyone relax." When Zhou Yi heard what Huo Yuhao said, she couldn't help but have a look of satisfaction in her eyes. She finally shocked the most irritating student in the class. Zhou Yi walked proudly to the distance and monitored the students running. Huo Yuhao turned to face his classmates and said loudly, "Can everyone give me a moment to listen to what I have to say?" After waiting for a while, when everyone was quiet again, Huo Yuhao quietly turned on soul interference to guide the emotions of his classmates, and then continued, "I know that everyone is very angry and unwilling at this time, because Zhou Yi said that one person will be eliminated today. People, the last one in the elimination circle. She also said that in this class, she can eliminate us at any time, no matter what the reason. The student's resentment was aroused again, and Huo Yuhao continued. No matter how good your family conditions are, whether a city lord recommendation letter is a big burden on your family, or whether the tuition fee of 100 gold soul coins is a small amount of money, I believe that all of you are not willing to be dismissed on the first day of school. Eliminated. As a classmate and monitor, I don't want any of us to be eliminated like this. Everyone has come all the way to Shrek Academy, the #1 academy in mainland China, with the idea of studying and making some progress. However, now someone wants to expel us on the first day of school, and we haven't even had time to learn. We didn't even have time to participate in the freshman assessment, so we were expelled. Everyone felt the same, and Huo Yuhao's sonorous, powerful and angry speech did not pause at all. We have traveled thousands of miles and traveled a lot to come here. We carry the expectations of our parents and family, and we willingly paid the tuition fee of 100 gold soul coins, but are we here just to be punished and then expelled in despair? We have failed our parents' and family's expectations and wasted too much time. When someone mentions us in the future, they will point at us and say, "Look, that person was expelled from Shrek Academy on the first day of school." The shame will stay with us for the rest of our lives. Are you willing to do this? I'm not willing to give in. Everyone's anger was ignited. So, all of us in the class must unite and fight Zhou Yi to the end. Follow me, let's go to the Academic Affairs Office and find Dean Yan. Huo Yuhao took the lead and led a group of students towards the building of the Academic Affairs Office, although Huo Yuhao can guess that even if he goes to the Academic Affairs Office or Yan Xiaoxia, there is a high probability that Zhou Yi will not be able to do anything about this matter. The most he will do is to be demoted, and then the big thing will be reduced to a trivial matter, and finally nothing will happen. Let it go, but this was his purpose today. Huo Yuhao wanted to teach Zhou Yi a moderate lesson today, to shock her so that she would not be able to expel students at will. Secondly, Huo Yuhao could use this incident to unite the students in the freshman class. Huo Yuhao. Zhou Yi saw Huo Yuhao running towards the Academic Affairs Office with all the students. She immediately became anxious and shouted, "Are you determined to fight me today?" Zhou Yi was still afraid that this kind of thing would become a big deal. Although suppressing students is the instruction given by the college to these teachers, if things really get into trouble, the college will definitely push the teachers out as scapegoats to win the hearts of the students. Huo Yuhao ignored Zhou Yi's roar and ran straight to the Academic Affairs Office building. Zhou Yi couldn't bear it anymore and instantly possessed her martial soul and ran towards Huo Yuhao. She couldn't sit still and wait for death. Even if she couldn't do anything to Huo Yuhao, she could still stop her from taking his students to the Academic Affairs Office. At this moment, a loud shout came, "Stop it!" At the same time, the pressure of soul power far exceeded Zhou Yi's, making all the students unable to move. Huo Yuhao followed the sound and saw 8 soul rings surrounding the figure. Looking more closely, it turned out to be Weilun. What's going on? Zhou Yi, how do you lead the class? And what's wrong with you students? Weilun asked first. Zhou Yi quickly collected her spirit and said, "Director Du, it's nothing. These students are just disobedient. I'll teach them a lesson." Immediately, a student couldn't help but refute, "You're talking nonsense. It's obvious that you expelled us at random. We are not convinced and are going to complain to the Academic Affairs Office." Others also talked about Zhou Yi's evil deeds in just one day. Huo Yuhao was watching all the students in Class 1 complain to Weilun one by one, but he didn't participate. At this time, it didn't matter whether he participated or not. It must be said that Zhou Yi is also a talent who can arouse the anger of students so much in just one day. Zhou Yi's face had completely darkened at this time. Although she knew that the academy would not punish her too much, she felt ashamed. Especially when a student exaggerated and told Weilun that she fell down after Huo Yuhao held her hand. Zhou Yi wanted to turn around and leave when she saw Weilun's weird look. Weilun knew that Huo Yuhao's first soul skill was spirit detection sharing, so he was very curious about how Zhou Yi fell down after being held. "You are a soul emperor after all, can you not be so lame? You are really embarrassing for Shrek people." Chapter 46. Weilun, Zhou Yi, how did you lose to a one-ring soul master? You are listening at novelfull.audio. With the students' talk, Du Weilun roughly understood what happened. In his opinion, it was no big deal, it was just Zhou Yi who aroused the public anger of all the students. When the time comes, he can punish Zhou Yi a little and calm everyone's anger. It was Huo Yuhao in the whole incident who caught his attention. It can be said that without Huo Yuhao, Zhou Yi would never have reached the stage of being complained by all the students. When he recruited Huo Yuhao, he didn't realize that Huo Yuhao was a thorn in the side. Such students are still an unstable factor for the college. Fortunately, the dean has already made arrangements. Moreover, he remembered that Su Sanqi's attack on the freshman was also related to Huo Yuhao. Su Sanqi had just recovered today, and the college was also dealing with Su Sanqi's matter. Maybe he could take the opportunity to let Su Sanqi sharpen his temper. And then the academy comes out to calm the situation. Du Weilun pushed up his glasses and already had a series of plans in his mind. He clapped his hands to signal the students to quiet down. When everyone stopped making noise, Du Weilun said with a serious face, "Teacher Zhou Yi did not do a good job today. Although the college gives every class teacher the power to expel students, Zhou Yi's abuse of power should not be ignored by us. The college cannot tolerate it. We will give Zhou Yi a warning and punishment so that she will not make such mistakes again. I will discuss the specific handling method with the dean and deputy dean. The two deans will definitely give the students a warning." Satisfactory answer. Let's continue with the class. Zhou Yi, and classmate Huo Yuhao, are you the monitor, right? Yes. Huo Yuhao replied. Come with me. Du Weilun turned around and headed to the teaching building of the Academic Affairs Office, followed by Zhou Yi and Huo Yuhao. Entering the Academic Affairs Office, Huo Yuhao did not see Xiao, the dean of Shrek Academy, nor did he see the vice dean named Kai Meyer. Du Weilun called Huo Yuhao and Zhou Yi into his office, then sat on the chairs, stared at Huo Yuhao with a serious face, and said, "Classmate Huo Yuhao, I already know what happened from everyone's mouths. We will give Zhou Yi the punishment he deserves, but you also did something wrong, do you know?" Huo Yuhao was unfazed by Du Weilun's accusation and said, "Teacher Du, I don't think I did anything wrong. Speaking out for the injustice suffered by my classmates, leading my classmates to seek justice, and resisting unfair treatment, these are not wrong." Du Weilun's face remained serious. "I'm not saying what you did was wrong, but the way you did it was wrong. If you encounter this kind of thing, you can report it to the Academic Affairs Office and the college will naturally seek justice for you. Instead of inciting classmates and leading them to cause trouble, that if the college would uphold justice after receiving the report, how could Zhou Yi be so arrogant?" Huo Yuhao chuckled in his heart, but looked straight at Du Weilun and denied it flatly. "Director Du, you are overthinking. How could I incite my classmates? These are all students who spontaneously and voluntarily resisted this unfair behavior. He's just a frontline soldier, and he's definitely not inciting his classmates." As for soul interference, Huo Yuhao said, "What is that?" "He only shares this skill with mental detection. You said there is also simulation. That's just the effect of modifying the mentally detected picture and sharing it with others. This is just an application of soul skills. If others can't develop it, it can only be used by others." Huo Yuhao had already thought of a way to explain the simulated soul skills. Du Weilun stared at Huo Yuhao silently. He didn't expect that Huo Yuhao was only more than 11 years old. Why was he so inexperienced? After a while, he said, "It's okay if you don't. But the emotions of the students in your class are too restless. As the monitor, I hope you can calm their emotions in the future and prevent things like today from happening again." Huo Yuhao said with a smile, "We are all young, and it is inevitable that we can't control our emotions when facing injustice. As long as nothing unfair like today happens in the future, I believe everyone's emotions will be stable enough." Du Weilun took a deep look at Huo Yuhao and said uncertainly, "I hope so." Du Weilun then turned to look at Zhou Yi, then looked at Huo Yuhao, and then asked Zhou Yi quietly, "Zhou Yi, can you tell me how you, as a teacher of Shrek Academy, fell down after being shaken by a student?" Zhou Yi's face suddenly turned red, she bit her lip tightly and remained silent. She couldn't say that her legs gave out and she fell down after the student shook her hand and couldn't help but say, aha. Zhou Yi would rather not be a teacher at Shrek Academy than let others know about such a thing. Weilun saw that Zhou Yi was blushing and refused to say anything. He just thought that Zhou Yi felt that it was too embarrassing for him to lose to the first-ring Soul Master, so he didn't want to say anything. Weilun stopped asking Zhou Yi. After all, her husband was still the director of the Soul Guidance Department, so he had to give him face. Weilun turned to look at Huo Yuhao and said, Huo Yuhao, I remember that your soul skill is the auxiliary system ability mental detection sharing, right? Can you tell me what ability you used to defeat Zhou Yi? As a martial soul teacher director, I have the obligation to understand the specific situation of each student. Of course, it was impossible for Huo Yuhao to reveal his less serious abilities. Just when he was about to pretend to be stupid and get over it, he saw Zhou Yi's pretty face looking at him with a sinister expression and eyes filled with threats. Weilun was immediately unhappy. What happened to you, Zhou Yi? I asked you and you didn't tell me. I asked Huo Yuhao and you threatened him not to tell me. What do you want to do? Weilun slapped the table and said in a deep voice, Zhou Yi, since you don't want to say it, forget it. You are still threatening others not to say it. Then just perform it for me on the spot. I will watch it for myself. Zhou Yi's face flushed at first when she heard Weilun's words, and then suddenly turned pale. She screamed, no. Director Du, there is no need for you to explore such things, right? Huo Yuhao couldn't help laughing when he saw Zhou Yi's face changing constantly. He asked tentatively, Teacher Zhou, how about we perform a live performance for Teacher Du on how you fell down? It won't take long, just a few seconds. Zhou Yi took a few steps back, looking at Huo Yuhao's slowly extended hand with horror in his eyes. Finally, he couldn't bear it anymore and rushed out of the door. Weilun frowned and said, Zhou Yi is getting more and more outrageous. Classmate Huo Yuhao, now that Zhou Yi is gone, can you tell me how you knocked Zhou Yi down? Weilun asked to the bottom. In his opinion, what kind of ability in the world can make a soul master knock down a soul emperor? If there is, Shrek Academy must know it. Chapter 47 Weilun is a really good person. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Huo Yuhao said vaguely, I don't know what the ability is. It may be that my martial soul has mutated. This ability also works sometimes. The specific function is that it can make people who come into contact with me. Urgent urination. Urgent urination. Weilun looked at Huo Yuhao with suspicion, as if asking you, do you think I look like a fool? Thinking of Zhou Yi's shy and scared behavior just now, Weilun suddenly realized that it was because of this that Zhou Yi remained silent. So, it seems that the effect of making people urgent to urinate is not unreasonable. Would you like to hold my hand? Weilun stretched out his hand and said. In his opinion, whether the effect is real or not, he will know after trying it. It's impossible for this special effect to take effect so quickly on Contra like him, right? Facing Weilun's move to find out the effects of the succubus body, Huo Yuhao instantly felt that this Weilun was such a good person. He really dares to do it if something happens. He now felt that Weilun was all friendly. Originally, Huo Yuhao was still worried about how to deal with the Contra in the solidification mission. He should go to Fan Yu. Because of Zhou Yi, Fan Yu probably wouldn't give him a good look, let alone contact him. He should go to Jiwei. He didn't. Plan to trick your friends, unexpectedly, in a sudden turn of events. There is actually a master giving it to me. Huo Yuhao felt that if he didn't seize the opportunity, he would not be able to cope with Weilun's cultivation and dedication. Huo Yuhao immediately held Weilun's hand without any hesitation. 10 seconds later, Weilun frowned and said, this has no effect. Huo Yuhao speculated, maybe it's because your cultivation is too strong, Teacher Du. Maybe a little more time will help. Weilun thought it made sense and continued to wait patiently for more than a minute. The small light spot also gave Huo Yuhao a hint. Contact with Contra for 30 seconds is complete. Weilun looked at Huo Yuhao suspiciously. why is there no reaction? Huo Yuhao said innocently, I don't know either. My ability is always active and inactive. Maybe it's because my martial soul hasn't mutated completely, right? Is this like this? Weilun frowned and withdrew his hand. In that case, Huo Yuhao, please go back and remember to organize exercises for the students. A healing soul saint will come over in the afternoon to assist your class. As for Zhou Yi, I will inform you after the two deans make a decision. Weilun still doubted whether Huo Yuhao's introduction to his abilities was true or false, but since Zhou Yi had been tricked, he would just ask and find out, so he would not go into details further. When Huo Yuhao returned to Shrek Square, he saw some students in the freshman class running around the square wearing iron clothes and sweating. Others were slumped on the ground covered in sweat, obviously tired from running. The last group of people were neatly dressed and did not wear iron clothes, sitting leisurely in the square. This group of people was represented by Wang Dong. Huo Yuhao felt that Wang Dong was really a master of laziness. Wang Dong looked towards the academic affairs office building from time to time. When he saw Huo Yuhao coming out of the building, his big clear eyes flashed with surprise, and then he flew towards Huo Yuhao possessed by his martial spirit. Are you okay? They didn't make things difficult for you, right? Wang Dong asked worriedly. Huo Yuhao felt warm in his heart and said warmly, You're not making things difficult for me, don't worry. Returning to the square with Wang Dong, when they saw Huo Yuhao coming back, other students gathered around and asked about the specific situation. Huo Yuhao said loudly to the noisy classmates, Don't worry, Director Du asked me to come over just to inquire about the situation in detail. As for the treatment of Zhou Yi, it is still up to the two deans to make a decision. Just wait patiently. Director Du asked me to organize exercises for everyone in this afternoon's class. Teachers from the support department will come over to help later. Speaking of this, Huo Yuhao paused. On the way, he had already thought about how to organize exercises for his classmates, and he felt no panic or confusion about the matter. From Huo Yuhao's point of view, Shrek's training methods are too backward. 10,000 years have passed and he still only knows how to run with weights. As long as anyone has learned a little bit about fitness in the past life, the exercise method can kill Shrek instantly. It just so happened that he also wanted to take this opportunity to do an experiment and try out the special training and extreme training methods from his previous life. The most important thing is that he has mental detection and can observe a person's muscle condition in real time, which allows him to record the effect of each exercise method on each muscle of the human body and explore the exercise limit of each muscle. With the support of measurement data and his mental detection, he can initially obtain an efficient and scientific bodybuilding method. Therefore, Huo Yuhao decided to teach these students some exercise methods he knew and record the data on how these methods exercised human muscles. This is only good for these people, not bad. At least they can get a better exercise method. Although it is the exercise method that Huo Yuhao is preparing to eliminate, it is better than the weight-bearing running in Shrek Academy. Now, the first thing Huo Yuhao has to do is to mobilize the enthusiasm of his classmates, which is what he is good at. Huo Yuhao quietly turned on soul interference again to arouse the emotions of his classmates. He found that he had become much more proficient in soul interference recently. After clearing his throat, Huo Yuhao said loudly, Students, no one will expel us at will after today. We can also settle down and study at Shrek for 3 months. That's right, it's 3 months. After 3 months, we will have a freshman assessment, and at least half of the freshmen will be eliminated. I also hope to see you again after the freshman assessment. So, I also hope that everyone will not slack off in the next 3 months, and I hope that everyone can do their best to improve their strength. In order to help everyone, I am also willing to teach you the training method I have summarized. You should all know my physical fitness, right? Although my cultivation is only 1 ring, my physical fitness is the strongest among you. In addition to my good talent in this area, it is also related to the fact that I have been training with this training method since I was a child. Everyone was excited and grateful when they heard that Huo Yuhao was willing to teach them such a training method. According to the physical fitness shown by Huo Yuhao, this training method can be used as a secret of a soul master family. No one thought that the squad leader was willing to teach them. However, what they didn't know was that Huo Yuhao's current physical fitness was indeed related to this training method, but the relationship was not very large. Huo Yuhao's current physical fitness was mostly due to his cheating. Huo Yuhao's memory was fully awakened when he was about 9 years old. After making money, he continued to exercise according to the training method of his previous life. Although his current physical fitness is mostly due to the strengthening of the small light spot, it cannot be said that he did not work hard, right? It can only be said that his efforts are not as good as cheating. Teaching this training method to them will definitely benefit them a lot. Chapter 48 Improving Exercise Methods. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Before teaching this method, I would like to ask, do you know why exercise can enhance physical fitness? Huo Yuhao looked around at each of his classmates and saw a confused look on everyone's face. They only know that exercise can improve physical fitness, but they have never thought about why they can do this. It can even be said that few people in the entire Douluo continent think about this issue. Seeing that no one answered, Huo Yuhao gave an explanation. Exercise can improve physical fitness, mainly in 2 aspects. The first one is that exercise can speed up the body's blood circulation and metabolism, thereby expelling some impurities from the body. At the same time, our consumption will increase during exercise, and the body will need more energy supplements. Therefore, during exercise, our body's nutrition must be sufficient, otherwise energy replenishment cannot keep up with consumption, and exercise will be harmful and useless. The second aspect is the basis of my exercise method. Our body has such a characteristic. When a certain behavior of ours and the positive stimulation caused by it occur more often, and the probability of a certain part being damaged and exceeding its functional upper limit becomes more frequent, the brain will think that the local demand is relatively high, so more energy will be mobilized to strengthen this part. Exercise is actually using various behaviors controlled by our subjective consciousness to frequently stimulate body parts and trick the brain into allocating more nutrients and energy to restore and strengthen this part. This is why exercise can strengthen physical fitness. Seeing the stunned expressions on everyone's faces, Huo Yuhao continued. According to the second reason, the more frequently we exercise a certain part, the more complete the damage will be, and the greater the enhancement of that part will be when the body recovers. This is indeed true, but there is a premise, that is your body can recover, even within a certain period of time, which is the key to my approach to exercise. How to control the degree of recovery for the body. In fact, our body itself will give us hints. When we exercise too much, the body will feel tired and painful. This feeling is telling us not to continue exercising. If we continue to exercise, we will suffer damage. When this feeling occurs, our body has not actually reached its true limit. We can actually continue to exercise to bring our body closer to that limit, as long as it does not exceed the true limit. Our body can recover in time after damage, and the effect of exercise will be greatly improved. But it is actually difficult to grasp the limits of the body. If we are not careful, excessive exercise will cause irreparable damage to our bodies. I am a spiritual soul master and can accurately grasp that line, but what should everyone do? Actually, you don't have to worry too much. We are soul masters and have soul power, so we have more choices. If conditions permit, we can use auxiliary soul masters, food soul masters, medicines, etc. to help us recover, and even if you exercise a little beyond your limits, you can easily recover with their help. At this point, Huo Yuhao suddenly turned serious and said solemnly, everyone, remember, this kind of exercise must ensure that your nutrition keeps up, and your body must be fully recovered before you can do the next exercise. Otherwise, your body will be damaged. If you are deficient and sick, no healing soul master will be able to heal your body, and your career as a soul master will be over. Everyone listened with great interest and memorized every word and sentence that Huo Yuhao said. Everyone also remembered Huo Yuhao's last solemn warning. They don't want their career as a soul master to end like this, Huo Yuhao continued. Since the limits of each part of the human body are different exercise methods are needed to exercise the corresponding parts, instead of just running with weights. Only in this way can major injuries be avoided, and also it can make our training more efficient. Even soul masters with different martial arts can train in the aspects they need, such as the explosive power of the agility attack type, the arm strength of the power attack type, etc. In the next month, I will slowly teach you how to exercise various body parts. Those who are interested can learn. Squad leader, just teach, and we will all learn. A student shouted. Huo Yuhao spread his hands and pressed them, and said, "Today I will teach you warm-up exercises. I hope you will do these sets of movements before every exercise. They can reduce the damage during exercise and allow our muscles throughout the body to movement status. Follow me." Huo Yuhao taught the class one move after another, taking the trouble to correct the movements. At the same time, he used mental detection to carefully detect each student's muscle changes, heartbeat, breathing and other data, and recorded all of this in the mental database. In the C, this will be key information when he refines his training methods in the future. It must be said that the Soul Master learned everything very quickly, and it didn't take long for everyone to completely master a few moves. Seeing that everyone was almost warmed up, Huo Yuhao said loudly, "This set of movements is what I will teach you today. I will not teach you anything new today. We will do the next exercise in the next time. Today's exercise is weight-bearing running." Alas! Someone sighed in disappointment. He thought he could learn other movements today, but in the end he still had to run with a heavy load. Huo Yuhao said with a smile, "I know some people are disappointed with the running program and want to learn other exercise programs. But in fact, running is indeed a very basic and practical exercise method. The most important thing is that we can complete running exercises alone anytime and anywhere. Many other exercise methods require the assistance of others or equipment to exercise. Today, I hope everyone can keep running until the end of get out of class. You can run slower, but you must keep running until the end of get out of class. Don't worry about excessive exercise causing any physical damage this time, because there will be auxiliary teachers to treat us in a while." The students in the freshman class put on their iron armor one by one and started jogging along Shrek Square. Huo Yuhao also put on his iron armor and started running, while distractedly recording the changes in everyone's data. Soon, more than half an hour passed, and everyone was sweating, even Huo Yuhao himself. Sweat dripped onto the track, and everyone's speed slowed down. In Huo Yuhao's detection, some people were almost at their limit. Sure enough, not long after, when Huo Yuhao passed by a weaker female student, her legs softened and she was about to fall down, and Huo Yuhao held her up. Huo Yuhao handed her a bottle of water and encouraged her in a gentle voice, "Run slowly, just keep going. You should drink some water first, and then I will help you jog for a while." Squad leader. The female student took the water, and her eyes soaked with sweat couldn't help but feel sour, and she murmured. After drinking a sip of water, she grabbed Huo Yuhao's arm and jogged. Huo Yuhao also slowed down and slowly led her to run in circles. At the same time, his spirit detected and recorded the data of the students who were close to or had reached their limits at the moment. These data were more valuable and could not be missed. There were also students who couldn't hold on. Seeing Huo Yuhao and the female student, they didn't stop in the end, but continued to run at a speed comparable to walking. Some students who had spare energy also followed Huo Yuhao's example and helped those who couldn't hold on to continue running together. Chapter 49 Wang Dong has grown up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The female student was led by Huo Yuhao for a while. She felt that she had recovered a little, so she let go of Huo Yuhao and continued running. Squad leader, I can't drag you down. I have recovered a little now. You can run at your own speed, squad leader. Huo Yuhao didn't refuse. He nodded and let her go. When he saw that she didn't fall, he was relieved and accelerated. Sometimes running is like this. When you persist to the limit, you continue to persevere. After breaking through this limit, running will become easier and easier. As get out of class was about to end, Huo Yuhao also saw a man in white standing at the edge of the square, looking at the students in the freshman class with a smile. Finally, the get out of class bell rang, and those students who had been persisting all fell to the ground instantly like toppling dominoes, stirring up a cloud of dust. Huo Yuhao did not fall to the ground originally, but he was brought down by Wang Dong and Xiao Xiao, who were passing by and grabbed their iron clothes. Wang Dong rested his head on Huo Yuhao's thigh, and Xiao Xiao followed suit and rested his head on the other side. Wang Dong gently rubbed Huo Yuhao's thigh, adjusted to a comfortable position, and said lazily, "I really don't know why you care about those classmates. Can't we just do our best?" Huo Yuhao looked up at the sky and thought for a while before slowly saying, "Maybe it's because I want to do something. If life is just for getting stronger, it will be too monotonous after all. Wouldn't it be better to enjoy yourself while getting stronger?" Wang Dong's tone was filled with complaints, and he suddenly stood up, looking at Huo Yuhao with seriousness in his light blue eyes and said, "But I can do whatever you do." "Support you." Huo Yuhao stared at Wang Dong. Her blue eyes were shining with light. The sweat on her hair flowed down her slender neck and disappeared into her collarbone. Huo Yuhao showed a bright smile, covering up his momentary absence. "Girl, if you keep being so flirtatious, I will really take action." The man in white saw all the students in the freshman class lying on the ground and floated over. 7 soul rings rose under his feet. He raised his hands, and a small green tree grew from his palms. The man swayed and disappeared, but the small tree grew crazily and turned into a towering tree in an instant. Pieces of green leaves fell off the big tree and flew out, falling lightly on each student. At this moment, everyone felt that their body's fatigue was fading rapidly. Whether it was sore muscles or some minor wounds, they were recovering at an alarming rate. Even their physical strength was recovering bit by bit. Huo Yuhao was the first to recover, and as the squad leader stood up to thank the man. The man was speechless, nodded with a smile and left. At this time, the students gained strength. Everyone burst out laughing when they saw each other sweating and looking gray because they were lying on the ground. Some weak female classmates heard the laughter of the classmates who helped them fall to the ground, and they blushed and tidied up their appearance. However, when they saw the appearance of their companions, they couldn't help but laugh too. This may be the joy of working together. Huo Yuhao, Wang Dong and Xiao Xiao, who had recovered, were the first to leave. The classmates they saw smiled and shouted one after another, "Goodbye, monitor." That he smiled and waved goodbye. Huo Yuhao and Wang Dong returned to the dormitory, and Huo Yuhao couldn't wait to change out of his sweat-soaked clothes. Wang Dong was still a little shy when he saw him shirtless. Huo Yuhao couldn't help but joke. "I'm going to take a shower first. Do you want to come with me?" Wang Dong's cheeks were red with embarrassment, his eyebrows were raised, and he shouted angrily, "Get out." After Huo Yuhao came out of the bathroom, Wang Dong pretended to be nonchalant and went to take a shower. "Are you sure you don't need me to go out first?" Huo Yuhao asked. Wang Dong said in a muffled voice, "No, after I finish washing, we will go find Sister Nan Nan and the others together." The child has finally grown up and knows how to be considerate. Seeing that Wang Dong didn't even think about avoiding him when he took a bath this time, Huo Yuhao felt a sense of nurturing emotion. "Get out," Wang Dong said concisely. In the bathroom, with a sudden change, Wang Dong changed from a boy's figure to a slim and graceful girl's figure. Accompanied by the sound of rushing water, the gurgling water slid down her smooth jade back and slid to her slender waist. The water was forced to divert due to the curvature of her buttocks, dripping down a pair of slender, white long legs. And down, when the sound of water stopped, Wang Dong took a towel from the side and wiped his body, from the slender snowy neck with icy muscles and jade bones, to the delicate jade-like collarbone, to the fair and elegant body, until he bent down. The girl allowed her exquisite and graceful figure to be revealed as she bent down. At this moment, she was squinting her eyebrows as if she was thinking about something. After wiping for a long time, Wang Dong straightened up and put on his clothes. Another change, the girl changed from short hair to beautiful long hair. With a slight knock on the door, Wang Dong appeared in front of Huo Yuhao like a flower. "Why did you suddenly look like a girl again?" Huo Yuhao said in surprise when he saw Wang Dong's appearance. The girl's hair was slightly damp and spread down her back, and her white face was a little red, giving the girl who had just come out of the bath a somewhat lazy and messy look. The girl has a pure temperament, but this laziness and messiness makes the girl a little more charming and tempting. People can't help but want to explore how radiant this messiness is when it is fully displayed on the girl's body. The girl was wearing the loose shirt she wore as a man, but it was still difficult to hide her Huo Yuhao suppressed his gaze and thought to himself, as expected of the daughter of Tang San, who was born evil, she actually managed to control me without noticing. Huo Yuhao, you must be firm. You must resolutely eat the sugar coating and fight back the cannonball. I just took a shower, and it's more comfortable to return to my original appearance. The girl pretended to be nonchalant and lifted her messy hair, but her crystal red earlobes exposed her uneasy mood at the moment. The two fell into silence for a while, and finally, Huo Yuhao broke the silence. Did you change your body shape when you were dressed as a man, or did you only change your appearance but not your body shape? Of course your body shape also changed, shouldn't you know that? Wang Dong felt that Huo Yuhao was a little inexplicable. So, when you are dressed as a man, you don't need those underwear when you are dressed as a woman? Huo Yuhao reminded Wang Dong as tactfully as possible. Why do I wear those clothes when I am dressed as a man? If someone finds out, won't I become a pervert? Wang Dong said softly. The girl was inevitably a little shy when it came to underwear. Just then, there was a knock on the dormitory door. Wang Dong quickly returned to his boyish appearance. As his appearance changed, Wang Dong lowered his eyes, was startled, couldn't help but exclaimed, and his cheeks were as red as blood, she didn't wear it just now. It's usually not necessary to wear it when wearing men's clothes, so she forgot it when she was upset just now. Huo Yuhao, thinking of the boy's roundabout reminder just now, Wang Dong bit his lip, suppressed his shyness, and changed back to men's clothes. Huo Yuhao opened the door, and Xiao Xiao's beautiful face poked in. Her lively eyes looked up and down at Huo Yuhao's dormitory, and then she pushed the door open and jumped in. Xiao Xiao's puzzled eyes wandered over Huo Yuhao and Wang Dong, muttering, "Strange, I clearly heard a girl's scream from your dormitory just now, how come only the two of you came in?" Chapter 50 Xiao Xiao Eating Melons. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Maybe it came from other dormitories. Huo Yuhao speculated, except that Xiao Xiao felt that Wang Dong's cheeks were extra rosy, she still didn't find any clues. She could only retain the doubts in her heart and nodded half-heartedly. Let's go out to eat together. I'll introduce you to two senior students. Huo Yuhao helped Wang Dong, who had not yet overcome his shyness, change the subject. Yeah. Xiao Xiao nodded quickly, and the temptation of delicious food made her put aside the doubts in her heart. In addition, Wang Dong, who seems a little shy today, has a special beauty. Xiao Xiao couldn't help but take another look at Wang Dong, secretly thinking that he was indeed the handsome guy I once liked. As soon as the three of them walked downstairs to the dormitory, Huo Yuhao saw Tanya and Jiang Nan Nan rushing over. Sister Nan Nan, Sister Xiaoya, what happened? I was just going to find you. Huo Yuhao asked. Yuhao, follow me, the academic affairs office is looking for us. Tang Yafeng said angrily. Did something happen? Huo Yuhao asked in confusion. He had already been to the academic affairs office once this afternoon, but he didn't expect to have a second visit to the palace today. It was about the conflict between us and Su Sancher last time. Xiaoya and I reported Su Sanchi's malicious attack on you because you are a freshman. According to school regulations, Su Sancher will be expelled. Today Su Sancher recovered from his serious injury, yes, so the academic affairs office will handle this matter today. Su Nannan softly explained the whole story to Huo Yuhao and the others. Tanya added on the side, Xiao Yuhao, although Su Sancher will be expelled according to the regulations, he will definitely not be expelled from the student academy that will definitely enter the inner courtyard. There is a high probability that Su Sancher will be given to you by Xiao Yuhao. Some compensation. You must not insist on expelling Su Sancher, otherwise the college may not even get compensation. Huo Yuhao nodded to express his understanding. He didn't have any trouble in his heart that Shrek would not fire Su Sancher. Shrek's rules have always been that they can break the rules themselves, but others can't. Wang Dong was a little indignant, since the college stipulates that assaulting a new student will result in expulsion, then the college should abide by this rule. Otherwise, why should we use this rule? Huo Yuhao smiled and calmed Wang Dong's mood. It's okay. It's a good thing for us to have compensation. It's not good for the college to expel Su Sancher. After all, he is the young master of the Xianming sect. Furthermore, Su Sancher suffered such a heavy loss at our hands, and now we can still get compensation from him. It can be said that he is completely a kind person, right? I quite hope that he will treat me more. It took 2 shots. Tanya said softly with a proud tone, that's right, Yuhao is right, we beat Su Sancher and he still wants to compensate us. This is all thanks to me, sister. I was the first to think of reporting it to the academy. Xiao Xiao heard the conversation of several people and roughly figured out what happened. She flashed her big green eyes and asked, Squad leader, were you attacked by the senior named Su Sancher? Su Sancher knew that it was with Pai Lai Bebe is also known as Shrek's 2 outstanding figures in the outer courtyard. Why did he attack the squad leader? Without waiting for Huo Yuhao's answer, Tanya said first, yes, that guy Su Sancher actually dared to attack Xiao Yuhao because he was jealous. In the end, Nan Nan defended her husband domineeringly and beat Su Sancher seriously. He really deserves it. Tanya pushed Jiang Nan Nan beside her, with a hint of hatred in her eyes. Nan Nan, please say something. Don't you see that this little girl may have a crush on Yuhao? You have to declare your sovereignty and don't look so generous. Hearing this, Xiao Xiao glanced at the senior student who was quietly following Huo Yuhao with some astonishment. Then he turned his gaze to Wang Dong and Huo Yuhao, who had no reaction at all. His eyes were wandering, and there were still some doubts in his eyes. Now that the squad leader has someone he likes, what's going on with Wang Dong? Could it be that she misunderstood that Wang Dong and the squad leader really had no relationship beyond friendship? And this senior is Jiang Nan Nan, the most beautiful girl in the outer courtyard, right? Unexpectedly, he was defeated by the squad leader. He is worthy of being the squad leader. Also, this senior Tanya seems to treat the monitor a little differently. She seems to be senior Bebe's girlfriend. Hiss, the monitor is so scary. Are you a succubus, monitor? Xiao Xiao was eating the melon crazily in her heart, and for a moment she didn't even know which melon was bigger and more delicious. Arriving at the academic affairs office, Huo Yuhao once again saw the good guy Du Weilun and the soon-to-be good guy Su Sancher, as well as Bebe. Du Weilun still had a serious face, but Su Sancher was happy at first when he saw Jiang Nan Nan, and then his face darkened again when he saw Jiang Nan Nan following Huo Yuhao with a gentle look on his face. Bebe greeted Huo Yuhao and the others gently. Xiao Yuhao, you are here. Tanya's expression became indifferent. Why do you, a busy person like you, suddenly remember to come to see me? Bebe smiled bitterly and said, I just heard that Su Sancher bullied little brother Yuhao, so I came over to see. I can't let little brother Yuhao be bullied. Tanya suddenly felt aggrieved. Bebe had been avoiding her these past few days under the pretext of being busy. Today, she suddenly encountered her. She thought Bebe finally knew she was wrong, but in the end, she came to help Yuhao. I will do it now. Not even as good as Xiao Yuhao, right? Tanya's eyebrows stood up, her face was covered with frost, and she said coldly, Bebe, go away, Xiao Yuhao doesn't need your help, Nan Nan and I can handle it. Bebe walked aside helplessly. When Su Sancher saw this, he mocked maliciously, Bebe, you can't do this. Your Xiaoya seems to have fallen out with you because of this junior. Besides, others don't seem to care about you. Too nosy. Bebe said coldly, Su Sancher, shut up. Su Sancher chuckled, looked at Huo Yuhao, and said with a smile, boy, let me tell you straight, it is impossible for the college to expel me. If you leave Nan Nan, I mean to compensate you. With 1,000 gold soul coins, our matter is over. Huo Yuhao's eyes turned cold. Su Sancher was putting the words on his face that he was covered in the academy. There was also Du Weilun, who came to deal with Su Sanchi's matter. When he came, he acted as if it had nothing to do with him and allowed Su Sancher to scream here. Could it be that he had taken the advantage and completely turned to Su Sancher? In this case, don't blame me for making extravagant moves. Huo Yuhao ignored Su Sancher and instead murmured to himself, speaking of which, the old man basking in the sun at the entrance of the freshman dormitory asked me to help him walk around more. If I have the chance, I can tell him this matter as a joke. Listen. Others felt baffled after hearing Huo Yuhao's words. Only Du Weilun and Bebe knew what was going on. That old man is none other than the contemporary Poseidon Pavilion Master Mu'en. Du Weilun immediately felt that the chair under his butt was so hot. Beads of sweat immediately appeared on his forehead and dripped down his cheeks.